Welcome to Evan's Legacy Financial Podcast. You know, there's a moment when staying costs more than leaving. Most people feel and stay and keep an exit. Burning the ships isn't about courage. It's about removing retreat so that forward is the only option. These conversations aren't about outcomes. They're about decisions that make going back impossible. This is Burn the Ships. Welcome back, everyone, and good morning. Today on Burn the Ships, we sit down with Jovanna Castanon, who's in front of me. Good morning, Jovanna. How are you doing?
Good morning, Jake. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. Today we're going to discuss sacrifice, identity, and turning personal pain into generational power. So welcome, everyone. Question for my listeners: at what point does survival stop being enough? So stay tuned and find out. So Jovanna, you crossed the border at 14, and when loss hit your family, you made a decision most people never do. The cycle stops here, right? So what did it actually feel like leaving your mom at 14 and crossing over here?
That's actually a good question, Jake, because the way I see it, so when we were going through that, yes, my mom wasn't able to come to the United States because she didn't have papers. But just like everybody else, it's just a sacrifice and it's just gonna be temporary. It's not gonna be forever. And so the fact that my mom wasn't able to come with us, I just saw that as a sacrifice because my dad was the one that made that decision. And we decided to do that because we just wanted a different life. In Mexico, it was just really hard for me to see my parents struggle to make money. I hate the fact that we didn't have the life we deserve. And that's the reason why we just make that decision to come to United States. And yes, for my mom, it was really hard because she was by herself. But I feel like at the end of the day, if you really care about the people that you love, you're gonna do whatever it takes. You need to have that mentality. It doesn't
Exactly.
matter what you're going through because that's only gonna make you stronger at the end. And for me, I feel like that helped me a lot, especially in this business, because when you go through all those things, most people they just want to give up. Or they feel like it's
Right.
just not gonna work.
Right.
Or they feel like, you know what, I don't know what I'm doing this, I don't deserve this, I don't deserve this pain. But again, that pain is gonna give you purpose in life. And that purpose is gonna help you to become that version of yourself that you're meant to be.
Now I want to back up a little bit because we're talking about you leaving your mom in another country at 14. Now, if you really want to know what that's all about, everybody go back to last season and look at Giovanna's episode where she talked about this and how this isn't necessarily it's like, hey, mom was a bad person, anything like that. She kind of just explained it that sometimes we make sacrifices, and mom made that sacrifice to let her daughter go and come to this country and make something of herself. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so was there a moment when you realized your childhood was over? When was that?
My child, oh my God, that's a deep question actually. So I feel like, I mean, I was 14 years old. I was really young. And I feel like the situations I was going through, it just make me realize that I needed to be an adult already. So I feel like at that age, because at 14, that's when my parents were like, you know what? We're gonna go to the United States right now. And I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna be in a different place. Like, I don't even know how to speak English. I don't even know what I'm gonna do over there. Like, I'm only 14 years old. I'm not supposed to go through all of this because I'm just a child. I'm still growing up. And because of that, that's when I realized that I was like, okay, like, this is it. If my parents, they need me right now I'm gonna be the one helping them out. Because, yes, until this day, I'm really grateful for the sacrifices they did, but now it's my turn to do those sacrifices so that way I can give them the life they deserve. And but yeah, I will say like at 14, that's when I was like, okay, this is it. This is the time to grow up, I guess. So that's when I came to United States. Didn't know how to speak English. But again, if you had that mentality that says whatever it takes, doesn't matter what you're going through, you're gonna make that happen. And so yeah, I learned the language. I went to college. I did all those things. I know Jake was mentioning to you guys that in my other podcast, I talk more about, what I did before. But yeah, I will say around that age, that's when I decided to, stop playing games and just decided helping my parents too.
So this is about survival at this point. And how did you? So my question for you about identity. So how did you rebuild an identity when you couldn't even speak the language?
And it's hard, Jake, when you're young. But for me, what? makes me do that, it was just my family, because they're the reason why I want to win in life. So for me to start building that identity, I just did that because I really care about my family and I wanted them to have a better life. So the fact that at 14 years old I came to United States, I took that risk because at first I didn't want to do that, but I did it because of my parents. I know they needed me to become that person. And yeah, so I went through all those situations, even on and it's funny because on those moments where I wanted to give up, I was like, no, I'm doing this because of my parents. I'm doing this because in Mexico we went through all these situations and I don't want to go through that. We don't deserve that. So might as well just keep going. Don't show up. I'ma keep don't give up. I'm gonna keep showing up for myself. And I'm doing that because my family, they need me right now. So the way I see it is that there is someone in your family or someone that is looking up to you and they're praying for you. They want you to keep going. They believe in you. So for me, that was my family. And that's the reason why I decided to change my identity so that way I can become that version that they wanted me to be or they needed me to be.
So I love this because what I'm seeing here is you said, do it for yourself. You know, you're doing this for you. But you're being pushed by the desire of your parents, but you're being pulled by your own desire to do for you because you did it for you. Once you start doing it for you, you get that support from behind, and then you get that little bit of help and that push emotionally and and spiritually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love that you know, don't let what I say. I tell my audience is don't let what your parents want define you. Define yourself, and you did that because that's what defined you was succeeding and
Yeah.
going forward, you know, and that was the identity. So when you leave a country at 14, there's no retreat. You know, you either adapt or you disappear, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So and you didn't because you're present. I mean, you walk into the office, you're present. So then we shift, then we move over and we geology, right? You want to become a geologist.
Yes, that's right.
Geology was the safe route. What did that path represent? Going to be a geologist.
So the reason why I wanted to be a geologist, and that was because when I was growing up, I remember watching on TV scientists going to the field collecting rocks and minerals, and for me that was like really interested. So I still love watching those documentaries, and that's when my passion comes in, and I'm like, you know what? I want to try doing a geologist. I want to see exactly what it's all about. And that's when I went to college to do that major. But again, I know in my other podcast, I was talking about how that major didn't work anymore because of the same thing. So I realized that within that major, it was really hard for people to make money and also to find really good job opportunities. So I was connecting the dots because going back in time when I was living in Mexico was the same thing. My parents, yes, they have a job, but they didn't make money. It wasn't enough. So I told myself if I pursue the same path that my parents went through, the same thing is gonna happen to me. And I don't want that. Like I'm running away from it for a better life, and I don't want the same thing to happen to me. I don't wanna repeat the cycle, right? So that's what I pursue a different career when I was going through that.
So what does it feel like to pivot from something logical to something uncertain? Because geology was a dream. It wasn't inherited. Somebody didn't tell you to do it. This was a dream of yours. So then
Yes.
you pivoted
Mm-hmm.
from that logic of saying, okay, this is my dream. I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to go after that. And all of a sudden you pivot over here to something that doesn't make any sense. It's
Something
not
totally
connected
so different.
whatsoever, you know, from
Yeah.
geology to financial services. So what does it feel like to pivot between those two things?
It's really interesting because back then I thought that was the only way to be successful. I really thought I needed to go to college, that I was gonna graduate, get my degree, and get a stable job. So when I was going through that, when I realized that that job that I was gonna get was not gonna help me to get where I wanna be in life, that's when I told myself, look, if I repeat the same cycle, I already know what's gonna happen. I already went through that when I was living in Mexico through my parents' situations. They struggled to make money. They didn't have a stable job. They were always stressing out because money wasn't enough. And that's when I told myself, okay, if this is not gonna be for me, I need to fight something else. And for me, I trust God's timing. I
Right.
remember telling God, you know what, God, if this career it's not for me, just please put something in my path, something that is gonna make sense to me. Maybe I don't see the vision right now, but I trust you that I'm gonna find something better. So, yes, going back to your question, when I remember making that decision that I decided to stop going to college. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Jake, I was super, super scared. Because again, my dad, he was the one telling me, you gotta go to college, just get a degree. You're gonna get a better life. I don't want you to do the same thing that I already did in Mexico. And I did exactly what he told me. But again, it wasn't working.
So let me ask you something.
Yes.
So the degree became a shield instead of a dream at that point. Am I right?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
yeah, and
Okay.
that's how I feel because I wasn't happy with my career anymore. And I remember telling myself, this is the life I wanna live in. I know I'm meant to do something else. And so yes, I was really scared, but I always tell people maybe that decision you're scared of is gonna be the decision that is gonna completely change your life. So when I make that decision, I remember talking to my dad, and I was really scared to talk to my dad, telling him, you know what, Dad, I'm not going to college anymore. I don't want to go to college anymore. This is not for me. I want to do something else. And like literally, Jake, when I said it's all about God's timing, it's actually true. Because actually, one of my close friends, Sandra, she's also in the business. I've known Sandra for like almost 13 or
You
14
guys
years
are inseparable.
already.
Okay, just say
Yeah, I
it.
know. Yeah, they were like sisters, right?
Mhm.
So until this day, I'm really grateful for her because she was the one that introduced me to the entrepreneurship word, how to be an entrepreneur into the financial services industry. And like you said, it's just a different thing. It's a different path because I never thought I was gonna be an entrepreneur. Even though when I was little, I just wanted to become something better, like at least start building something. And I remember the first time I got introduced into the business, I was like, you know what? I remember when I was a child, this is something that I wanted to do, but I just didn't know if it was going to happen because I didn't have the support, I didn't have the knowledge. So when I got introduced into this word, the entrepreneurship word, that's when I realized the potential that I'm capable to do in here and how much how my life can change not only for myself but also for my family, the people that I care about, the people that make all the sacrifices in order for me to be in this country, in order for me to get this opportunity. And so again, yes, just pivot. I know sometimes it feels scared because you don't know what's going to happen, but
Well,
you just
here's the
gotta
thing,
go
and
for it.
I'm going to piggyback on that really quick
Mhm.
to my audience and just tell them,
Yes.
the uncertainty is okay. It's okay, and I used to say this in some other audiences, but it's okay to be in the gray. Sometimes there's a gray area and you don't know where you're going. But you took this and you pivoted towards a God centered uncertainty because you didn't know where it was going, but you trusted God was taking you in the right direction.
Yes,
It's
that's
like it's
exactly
like
how
a
I feel.
pilot flying by instruments.
Yeah,
He's
and I like
trust the instruments are the God, and they're trusting the instruments that they're going to take them where they need to go, and they're going to get them to the destination, and everything's going to be okay.
exactly. So I
Yeah,
always tell people it's always gonna be faith over fear. You gotta
exactly.
trust, you gotta have faith, you gotta believe it. Even though you don't see the vision right now, you just gotta believe it, go for it, just put the work. Because when you always do that, Jake, at the end of the day, it's always you're gonna always gonna see the results. But again, most people feel scared because they don't know exactly what's gonna happen. And I get it because it's something new to you, but that doesn't mean you're not capable of doing
Right.
it.
No, exactly, exactly. So I want to move into a painful time. The moment pain became personal when you lost your mom.
Yes.
How did losing your mom without life insurance change you?
For me, it was really hard because I remember, telling my mom, Mom, I cannot wait for you to be here in the United States. I want to take you to all these events that I have in my business. I want you to experience those things because my mom, when she was little, she didn't have like a good childhood. And so for me, I wanted her to experience that, to go to all the trips that I was going to. But again, back then she wasn't able to be here in the United States because she didn't have papers. We were like working on that. And so when she passed away, for me, like, I don't want to be too personal, but something inside just died, right? And I feel like, it's normal because you lose a parent. I never thought that was gonna happen to me and my mom. And I feel like when that happened, something about me changed a lot, that I was like, you know what? This is it. This is enough. If I was playing it small, then I gotta do whatever it takes right now. Because yes, it was painful. Like when my mom passed away, she was in Mexico and I was here. So it literally just happened at night. And so that's, again, I tell people, just don't play with your potential because eventually you will never know what's going to happen. So for me, the fact that, when my mom passed away, I feel like that was a wake up call for me. Okay, this was meant to be, this is something that I gotta take the courage of, embrace it, and just do whatever it takes because I still have my dad, my siblings with me. So I want to make sure that they keep experiencing those things that my mom was not able to.
So was there three things: anger, regret, resolve? I mean, what? Tell me about some of those feelings you were feeling at that time when you know, life insurance is a big deal. We talk about it all the time, and we get so excited about it because you're not doing. And I'm gonna just sidebar really quick. With life
Mhm.
insurance, a lot of people are afraid of it, or they think it's this and that. But you know what? It's
Yeah.
not for you. If you're getting it for yourself, you're not getting it for you. You're getting for those people that you leave behind.
Yes.
And losing a parent without life insurance, my dad passed without it.
Mhm.
And I know that feeling is like there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can
Exactly.
do.
So
And
yeah, you feel like
we didn't have a big thing. We took his ashes down to the beach in Southern California, and we all swam out in the ocean and scattered his ashes. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And so there was no big, you know, all the siblings got together, which was great, but it's really important. So when I talk about the anger, the regret, the resolve, all of those, talk about some of those feelings.
yeah, for me, I remember I was just really upset because I was like, how come my mom passed away with no life insurance? And I'm telling you, Jake, in Mexico, it's just different. Like,
That's where he passed, by the way.
yes. So my
That's where
my
my
mom,
dad
yeah,
passed.
yeah, oh, Mexico. So you,
Hmm.
you already know how it is. So that's what I like. Literally, I remember talking to God, and I remember telling him, "Please, God, just give me enough time so that way I can bring my mom with me. I want her to be protected here with us because she was living by herself." In Mexico, I don't want to be rude or anything, but it's dangerous over there, at least where she was living. And so that's what I was like, I need my mom to be here already. I want to protect her. I want her to have a better life. But like I said, you will never know what's going to happen. Unfortunately, she passed away.
Yeah,
And I feel like that was my biggest nightmare that became true.
yeah.
And so for me, yes, I was really angry. I was really upset because I was like, I could have do something about it. But again, we were like in different countries. And so I didn't know what's gonna happen. Like I said, it just happened at night where she got a heart attack and immediately she passed away. And so, yeah, I was like, man, like I wish I could have done something. I wish I could have, get the life insurance. But again, it's just a whole different thing in Mexico when it comes to all those resources. Because believe me, Jake, getting life insurance in Mexico is really hard for people. I've seen it. And then here, getting this opportunity in the field, that's why I'm so passionate when it comes to protecting families, when it comes to leaving a legacy, when it comes to, taking care of your loved ones, because I went through that, unfortunately, when my mom, I wasn't able to do that for her. So I want to make sure that what I'm doing right now in this field, I share my passion with other people so that way they see the importance on how it is to protect not only you, but also the people that care about you, the people that are always gonna be there for you. And so for me, that was like I said, that was a wake up call.
So my next question is going to come, but I want to say something really quick. You know, when loss teaches you, what you're saying right here is when loss teaches you something, you can't ignore it. You
Yeah.
can ignore it, or you can do what you did. You can build on it. You
Yep.
can build something from it and say, I'm not going to watch people go through this. We're not going to go into your sister's battle with cancer. Like I said, listen to the other episode. So you've had your battles and some losses in your life, and I know you personally. We are in the same office,
Yeah.
and you have built from it, and it's so powerful to watch that. So when you at 19, let's fast forward to 19 here.
Yeah.
Most people are still figuring life out, right? And you committed to financial services at that point. Why? I think you
Yeah.
already answered it, but give me a little.
So the reason why I was committed to it, so again, when I was 19, that's when Sandra introduced me to the business. And I saw the vision on what we do. I saw the opportunity on how the financial services industry can completely change your life. So for me, again, I was like, this is the opportunity that I was praying God to put in front of me. So for me, that mindset, it literally told me, okay, Giovanna, you got introduced into this business for a reason. You're not gonna play with it. You're just gonna go for it and see what it can do for your life. And honestly, Jake, I wasn't really that scared because of all the things that I went through. I feel like that helped me to become really strong.
Right.
So I use that as straight so that way I can start building this business. And again, when my mom passed away, yes, it was hard for me to keep going, but I didn't let that bring me down. I used that as a reason for me to not stop, to not give up, pretty much.
So were there any, like, when you made that pivot and you said, okay, financial services, let's go. You had Sandra on your side, so she's a juggernaut. But were there any early doubts?
Oh yeah, definitely a lot of it. I
That's a
feel like
dumb
what
question.
I
There's
feel
no
like
such thing as a stupid question, but
no,
yeah,
it's
of
not.
course.
It's not. No, but yes. So I feel like a lot of people that are young, yes, you're gonna have those doubts. You're gonna be like, man, like, is this really something that I want to do? Is this business gonna work out for me? And it's normal. You're young. You're gonna have those experiences. But again, something that I tell people is that when you feel that way, just remember why you're doing this. Like for me, I was like, yes, I'm feeling like this. I'm not sure if it is gonna be for me. I'm young. I don't have the experience. But hey, there is a reason why I got to this point.
Hmm.
There is a reason why I'm doing this. There is a reason why God put me into this opportunity. So for me, every time I was feeling down, I was just thinking about, you know what, Joanna, I deserve this. I deserve this life. I deserve my parents to see me win. I deserve the fact that my parents they want a better life. And I'm the one in my family that can change that and break that cycle that we went through in Mexico. So it's normal when you feel that way, especially when you're young. But just remember why you're doing this. Remember why you gonna show up for yourself and remember why you want to change your life. Because that's really important and that's gonna help you to keep going.
Yep. So this the series here is called Burn the Ships, and you know the story behind that. We're in a
Hmm.
boat. It's taken or we're at the shoreline. Okay. I like to talk a couple of different angles on this. You're at the shoreline. You're at the shoreline of financial services. You're looking back. That ship that you just came in on is geology career degree. So you you burnt that ship, right? You said, I'm burning that. I'm not turning back, right?
Yep.
And what else do you think that you've had to burn in your career here to stay on track with financial services and to stay on track with the career that now you're passionate about?
Okay. So again, going back to when my mom passed away, because most people, and like I said, it's normal. When you lost a loved one, most people they just don't want to do anything. They feel down. They just wanna be in their rooms, just crying. And I get it, it's part of the process when you're healing when that happens. But for me, I'm telling you, Jake, I just have a different mindset. For me, I was like, I'm not gonna let those emotions get me. I'm gonna use my strength that my mom is giving me because I know she's in heaven right now, but I know for a fact that she's watching me.
She's right
And
there. Yeah,
yeah, she's
I
right there.
agree.
And I know she's giving me that energy that I need to keep going in this business. So even when she passed away, I told myself, I don't care how I'm feeling. I'm gonna embrace the emotions. I'm gonna go through the emotions, but at the same time, I'm gonna keep building this business no matter what it's gonna take me. Because I tell people, Yes, you can do whatever it takes, but it's gonna take all you got. You gotta keep going. You
Yep.
gotta use your pain as a purpose. And I was doing that. When my mom passed away, I was using my pain as a purpose. I was using my pain for a reason to keep going in this business, to keep building this business. Because again, I still have my dad and my siblings. They're the ones watching me right now. And my mom, I know she's watching me in heaven, like I said. And I know she's like, you got this, Giovanna. Don't give up. Like I can feel that. So for me, I was like, okay, like I'm not gonna let the emotions get me. I'm gonna use those emotions. I'm gonna use the pain to become a better version of myself, to become a stronger version in myself in business.
You know, it's funny you say that because my grandfather's my hero. Okay, Grandpa
Mm-hmm.
Richie, and it's in my book, and there's a whole,
Yeah.
prelogue and chapter about him. And about 6 months ago, I was out in my yard, and he was the mechanic. He was the diesel mechanic. He's the one who gave me the passion. I believe genetically he instilled that into me. And I was in my front yard, and I was working on a car, and this hummingbird came over and hovered over me and kind
Mm-hmm.
of went back and forth and just stood just over my head and then went back off to the distance. And this then it actually looked at me, and I looked up, and it flew off. And I didn't know what that meant until somebody told me. Somebody there's a belief that a hummingbird is a loved one looking out for
Yeah.
you. And I
Yeah.
really believe
Exactly.
to this day that my grandfather is that hummingbird and looking over me, and is proud of me for carrying in his legacy, his footsteps, and things like that. So absolutely, our loved ones are cheering us on from beyond. I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah. And
So
I agree with it too.
yeah, so generational change. We talk about that because breaking cycles, not just selling policies, that's what we do. We don't just sell life insurance. We break cycles. We talk about generational change. What does that really mean to you?
For me, giving people the opportunity to change their lives is really important because someone cared enough about me to show me this opportunity so that way I can change my life. Because that person, Sandra, she know what I was going through. She know my whole story because we have a similar story. So the fact that I can share the same opportunity to somebody going through what I went through, the fact that I can literally inspire someone with my story by showing them this opportunity for me is just priceless.
And
That's
you
why
know
I'm
what?
really passionate about this.
I love that you said that because you want to show it. Now, what you have to say,
Hmm.
I guarantee you somebody else has said it. But you know who they haven't said it to?
Tell me.
Your audience. They haven't said it to your audience. And that's why I do this today, is
Yeah,
because all of this may have been said to somebody somewhere. But this has not been said to my audience yet. And my audience needs to hear this stuff. So my
exactly.
people, your people, they need to hear this. So so let's talk about some generational changes, some generational stuff and patterns. So what you've been in this a little bit longer than I have. So what patterns do you see repeating in families?
One of the things that I always see whenever I have a family is it's always gonna be, you know what, Giovanna, I don't know what to do with my finances. I don't know. I'm not educated when it comes to financial education, but I want to change my life. I just don't have the resources right now. And most people think that they need to hire a financial advisor or someone, or they think that they need to spend a lot of money. But in reality, you don't have to do that. That's why we're here. So that way we can show you, we can educate you on financial education and show you the different resources you can take advantage of. You just gotta look for the information, you gotta learn it, and we help you to accomplish your financial goals. So,
Right.
but yeah, that's one of the things that I always see on people. They're not financially educated, which I understand because that was me and my family. They wanna accomplish all these financial goals, but they're not on track to do that. They don't have the money. They don't know how to save money. They don't, and the same thing. Going back to when I lost my mom, a lot of the clients that I have, they always tell me a story where one of their loved ones passed away with no protection. So that's another thing that I always see the same pattern that they're always pursuing. So again, we gotta break that cycle. We gotta help families. We gotta show them this opportunity. We gotta help them to protect their loved ones.
So you just answered my next question. You got a family that struggled financially for generations.
Yes.
Who becomes the one that interrupts it? We do. We
That's for
alongside of
sure.
that family member.
Mm-hmm.
We get to help, and that's our job, is to educate. You know, we don't know everything, but as a collective, our group or our team or our people can help families break those generational cycles of avoiding financial conversations, learning to know what belief has to shift before belief has to shift before behavior shifts.
Oh, I
So
love that.
right, belief
Mm-hmm.
has to shift before behavior shifts.
Yeah,
So showing them that it works, getting them to believe in it, allows their behavior to shift.
exactly.
You know,
I agree with that 100%.
so what does we're going to talk about legacy because my business is Evans Legacy Financial. That's part of the podcast. Legacy, it's not a buzzword. What does it mean when you've experienced loss like yourself?
So for me, when my mom passed away, again, I use that as purpose. I feel like when I was going through that, that was just another reason for me to be like, this is the sign that God gave me for me to not doubt in myself anymore, to keep going in this business, to keep building it, because I need to take care of my family, my dad and my siblings, and also the people that are going through this situation. And I mean, it's really hard to say this because, it's my mom. I lost my mom. I didn't even get the chance to say bye to her or see her when she was alive because, again, I was here. She was in Mexico. And yeah, I mean, it's really hard to experience that. And a lot of people that went through that, I see you, I feel you, but again, use your pain as a purpose to keep going in life, to build something that has meaning, to honor that because for me, and the reason why I'm building this business after my mom passed away is because I want to honor all my hard work to her. I know she's watching me and I know she wanted to come to my events to support me in this business in person, but I know she's done that from heaven. And I don't want to disappoint her because I know she's watching me and she's giving me the energy that I need to keep going.
It's funny as you said, use your pain for your purpose, and I have something similar to that. Is pain and anger and all that. Don't let that bring you down.
Mm-hmm.
Make it your
Exactly.
fuel and your catalyst to launch you into the next phase of what you're trying to do and helping families or helping people. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly.
Don't let your pain be the catalyst for drive. Let it be the fuel that launches you somewhere to better yourself. I was at a thing on Monday. I was at a meeting on Monday, and the guy said, if you improve upon yourself 1% for 100 days, at that 100th day, you're going to be a different person, 100% better. But it takes work. And if the pain and the whatever, you see me, I've always got energy and stuff like that. But it's not always, that's not always, but what's driving that is some of those things are going on behind the scenes,
Exactly. Yeah,
right?
I agree with
So,
you.
so if your younger 14-year-old self could see you now, what would she think?
Well, that's actually a deep question. If I were to see my own self when I was 14, I truly know that she will be in tears. And she will be like, well, did I actually become this version of myself? Like, did I actually overcome my fear that coming to a different country, learning a new language, doing all these things that looks risky to me? Again, that's something that my 14-year-old will say. And yeah, I 100% know that she will be in tears and she will be really excited and really happy and really proud of the
That's
woman
awesome.
that I am today.
So I'm gonna share this with you, but I want your answer to it.
Mm-hmm.
Defining wealth beyond money. How would you do that? How would you define wealth beyond money?
Beyond money.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like to become wealth or be wealthy, again, honestly, I don't think it's all about the money. Yes, it's good. Money is a really good resource because you're able to help as many people as you can, even your family. But I feel like it's just the fact that you're helping so many families is the impact that you're bringing into their lives, that positive impact. And that impact is also helping you to change your life, and it's also helping to change your family's life. So I feel like that's the main thing to become wealthy, to become wealth. Because when you're doing that, yes, you're helping yourself, you're helping other people, but at the same time, you're building this business. And by building this business, because you're doing that, that's how you're becoming wealthy. Because money is gonna come no matter what.
Yep.
But it's just the purpose that you're bringing into other people's lives. Because they
You
need
said
you.
it.
Yes,
Purpose.
purpose. Because they need you. They know you have the resources. You just gotta show people exactly what our mission is all about. That's how you bring
And
purpose.
that's find your purpose, whatever it
Exactly.
may be. Because here's what I tell people all the time: if you're going to work for a paycheck, for the money, you're
Mhm.
in the wrong business.
Exactly.
If you're going to
Exactly.
work for a purpose, to serve a purpose, and not worried about the money, you're going to have more than you could ever imagine. I have,
Exactly.
well, you know my Sandra, okay?
Yeah.
One time she felt a certain way, and she goes, well, I'm not the wealthy. I see these women that are wealthy, and da da da. I said, no, 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 no. I said, you know what? I think you're the richest, most wealthy woman I know. You want to know why? You've got your kids around you. You've got your family
Exactly.
that loves you. If I stood you up next to all of 100 women in this town, I would pick you as being the most wealthy because you have that behind you, and you have a purpose, and your purpose is family,
Yeah.
and that
Exactly.
is worth more than anything.
Exactly.
you know so I'm gonna go forward here as we kind of wrap it up here. What ship, and we talked about burning the ships, what
Hmm.
ship are you most grateful you burned?
For sure, it's the one that I decided to make the decision to stop going to college. Because sometimes, Jake, I'm thinking, man, how will my life will be if I stayed in college? It would be a different thing. So when I decided to burn the chip and make that decision to stop going to college, to leave everything I knew, because that was my comfort zone. Just going to college, get my degree, study. But again, I was not happy at all. I knew I wanted to something else, but again, I was afraid to step out of my comfort zone and see what else was gonna be out there.
Right.
So by doing that, so it's actually two things, right? By doing that, that's when I decided to build a chip, right? To step out of my comfort zone. Yes, I was afraid, but again, I told myself it's normal because this is something new to me. I don't know what's gonna happen. That's why I'm afraid. But hey, what if I make that decision and that decision is gonna change my life? That decision is gonna bring me what I'm looking for. And then when I was 14, moving to the United States, that was another huge thing. And I'm grateful I did that because I was able to find this opportunity within the entrepreneurship world.
That's awesome. So that's answer me another question. What fear still shows up?
The fears?
What fear still shows up today?
Ooh, okay. I like that
Be
question,
honest. I
actually.
mean, we all have the fears, and I mean, I got fears too. So, what fear for you still shows up?
So honestly, it's not about the business. I feel it's just about my family because I still have family in Mexico and I have my dad. I don't want to say he's old, but he's growing up. He had, he's almost getting to 60. And for me, it's like the only fear I have is that I don't want God to take my dad away from me. I still want to have enough time so that way my dad can live a little bit longer. Like I said, I don't want to get emotional. I don't want to be negative, but I feel like I feel that way because that
Emotional?
happened with
No, no,
my
no, no, no.
mom.
Emotional's not negativity. Trust
Yes,
me on that. That's true heart.
yes. And I feel like because I that happened with my mom, I still have that fear that I'm like, what if it happens with my dad? What
Mhm.
if it happens with my family in Mexico? Like, and I'm like, okay, I gotta stop being negative. And that's when I start thinking about positive things. But I like that you asked me that because I have been thinking about that sometimes, and that's when the fear comes in still about my family. So yeah, and that's what I tell people when you have those fears, just stop thinking that way and start thinking about the positive things that you're doing and what those positive things are gonna bring to you and your family. But yeah, so again, I still want to have my dad with me. I'm hoping and I'm praying that he's gonna have a longer life because I still want him to have more experience. that I'm doing in this business.
Right. So, fear, it's funny. Fear is two things: forget everything and run, or face everything and rise.
I
And I
did a
think,
presentation about that in one of the meetings, actually.
and
You
so,
just remind me.
face everything and rise is what you're doing, because you're facing the fears. And I want to let the listeners know that when you face your fears and you speak them out, what you're afraid of, the power's gone.
Yeah,
There's nothing
exactly.
else there's nothing else that fear can do to you.
Yeah, because when you're speaking, when you're embracing your fears, you're not letting your fears to control you. You're the one that is in control of everything. And
Right.
when you're speaking about your fears, you're overcoming them too, because you're not afraid about speaking what makes you feel the most scared. Like you're embracing that and you're using that as purpose. Again, we're talking about purpose. So yeah, I agree with you at 100%.
So my final question for you is, what do you want listeners to confront after this episode? By listening to this episode, what would you like to say to listeners to confront today?
So again, what you have behind you, I want you guys to make the decision and ask yourself, what's the chip that I need to burn in order for me to have that wake up call and be like, okay, this is enough. I survived enough. I gotta do whatever it takes right now. What's the fear that it's been holding me? And what's the reason why it's been holding me? Is it even worth it for me to keep having the same life? Knowing that I have people looking up to me, knowing that I have people that I really care, that we deserve a better life. So I want all of you guys, and that's why, Jay, thank you for inviting me to this episode. I love that we're talking about this because I know people are going through that, and because they are afraid, they just wanna stay comfortable. You gotta step up of your comfort zone.
Tolerating.
Yes.
They're just
So
tolerating it.
exactly. And so I tell people you gotta be used to being uncomfortable. Because
Hmm.
when you're being uncomfortable, that's when you can change your life. That's when a lot of blessings start coming your way.
Hmm.
Again, going back to that question, you gotta decide what's the chip that you're gonna burn? What's the decision that you're gonna make so that way you don't let those fears control you anymore. And believe me, when you do that, life becomes even more beautiful. It becomes, you have a different meaning, you have a different purpose.
So this is for the listeners here. What Mike, I want to ask a question out there. What are you tolerating today that your future family will have to pay for tomorrow? Think
Ooh,
about
that's
that.
a good
What are
question.
you tolerating today that your family and your future and your generations to come will have to pay for? Don't wait. So, how do people get a hold of you? How do people connect with you?
So it's literally my name, Jovanna underscore CEO.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and Facebook is like that too. TikTok is like that too. I try to make my social media the same username.
So, you know what? I want to thank you again, Giovanna, for being a part of this as we wrap this up. Everybody, thank you guys for coming again. If you've heard something that you would like to know more about, reach out to Giovanna or myself. If you want to reach out to Giovanna and you're not able to, evanslegacyfinancial.com. There's a connection at the bottom. Just let me know, hey, how do I get a hold of Giovanna? I'll help you do that. Again, Giovanna, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure having you.
Thank you, Jake. I really appreciate that.
Thanks for tuning into the Evans Legacy Financial Podcast. If you got value from today's episode, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us for more real conversations that move the needle in life and business. Until next time, keep building, keep growing, and never stop chasing what matters.